Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about introducing new chickens to your flock. It's something that most of us chicken keepers do at some point during the chicken keeping process. This here is one of my younger mottled bantam cochins. I have 5 of these that I introduced to the flock a couple months ago. They were hatched in mid-August, and I waited until they were about 2 months old until I introduced them to the flock. You do not want to introduce chicks to your flock because the older hens may peck at them and kill them. I even was successfully able to introduce a new rooster into my flock. Here he is. And I already had 2 older roosters in my main flock. So how I do this is I have 2 coops, which you may have seen on my other videos, that are attached to a chicken run. And what I do with new chickens is I put them in this coop on the side, and initially I will leave the door closed, but they can see each other through the wire mesh. This allows a slow introduction, and the 2 flocks can see each other and get used to seeing one another without being able to harm each other. These are all my older chickens, and you can see one of my older roosters. He's about 4 years old. I have 2 silky roosters that I was a little bit worried about introducing a new rooster to. And I gotta say, I've had about 6 silky roosters over the years, and I have always been able to successfully introduce new chickens and new roosters to these guys. As long as they are young, they seem to always accept new roosters if they are young and little. So again, I introduced my mottled bantam cochins when they were about 2.5 months old. And I didn't have any fighting. Everybody has gotten along really, really well. The only time this has not worked out for me, that my roosters did not accept them, is when I try to introduce older roosters. Tater here is about 4 years old, and then I have another rooster. He just went in the coop. Another silky rooster who is about, there he is, 3 years old. And neither one of these guys has tried to attack my cochin rooster at all. So again, it seems to work if they are younger. Now I do have a friend, her name is Heather, and she rehabilitates roosters, and she rescues roosters and takes them in when other people can't keep them. And she has a routine that she does, and she trains them and gets them to be able to get along. I know one thing that she does when she takes in new roosters is she will put them in like a dog type kennel, the wire metal kennels. So again, they can all see each other and slowly get used to one another without causing any injuries. She leaves them in that cage for about a month, maybe a little longer. And if you have any questions about trying to introduce new roosters, or you're having a rooster that's aggressive and you don't know if you can keep them anymore, send me an email and I will get you in touch with her. She's great at working with roosters. My email is saraf, as in Francis, Harvey, Harvey, @gmail.com, and we can try to help you out with your roosters. So another thing that you want to try to do when you're introducing new chickens is make sure you give them stuff to do so that they're kind of like busy with things and they're kind of sidetracked and they're not focused on attacking new chickens. You can hang treats from a string. You can get flock blocks, which are seed blocks from Tractor Supply. You can put mirrors in your coop. Just make sure that they don't get too bored. Chicken keepers call these things boredom busters, especially in winter time when there's not much to do and they're cold and they might be a little temperamental. Keeping chickens busy always helps with getting them to get along. So now I am successfully able to keep chickens of all ages in this flock. We have the young ones, and then my older chickens are going on, like that one there, the Wyandotte, is going on 5 years old. So I don't know if it's just me. You guys let me know if you've had success with your silky roosters being more docile and accepting of new roosters. The only trouble I've had is when I'm introducing roosters that are older. And you want to make sure anytime that you are introducing new chickens, be it hen or roosters, that you have dewormer on hand and you have treatment for COSI, because anytime you introduce new chickens, you are possibly introducing also parasites and or lice to your flock. So you always want to try to quarantine for about a month. You want to look them over, check stool samples if possible. This is something that I have done for people before if need be. I do have a microscope here as well as videos in which I show you how to check for parasites. And one last thing before I go here. For the past year, I have been putting garlic and cayenne pepper in my chicken feed, just sprinkling it on, just those two spices, 5 days a week. And I have had no internal parasites in my flock in a whole entire year. Garlic and cayenne pepper is great for preventing parasites, and by using that almost every day, I have seen no parasites in my flock. It's a cheap thing to do. You can even get garlic and cayenne pepper at the dollar store. It's a great way to prevent parasites in your flock. So those are some tips about introducing. See, there's the roosters right next to one another. Some tips about introducing new chickens. Any questions, or if you need help with roosters, please feel free to send a message to the email address I gave you. Please be sure to subscribe and share the channel. Thank you.